In today's podcast, we talk about how to stay consistent to get to an end goal. Welcome to the JAMODI Podcast. My name is Turner Cavender, former professional athlete and action sport enthusiast with a passion to spread inspiration and positivity. Each week, we deliver you an inspiring message to help you put your life in forward motion to achieve your ultimate goals. Now let's get this show started because it's just a matter of doing it. Hey, welcome to the JAMODI Podcast. Today, we have an amazing show for you today. If you're watching on YouTube, you see this amazing character sitting across the table from me. I have a really good, podcast. A lot of things I want to talk about is reaching an end goal and, how to stay consistent with it. But before I get into that, the real big thing about this movement of this podcast is to spread positivity and to help you take that first step in the forward motion for your life. So how I'm able to do that is if you subscribe to this YouTube or share these videos with your friends, tell one friend out there, spread the love and the positivity because we need more of that in life. It's really, really important to do so. So let's just dive right into this topic today and just shut up, Turner, about all this other stuff, right? Let's go ahead and talk about, Travis Kern. He is my college buddy. That's, where we officially met. And I always thought, I want to be, authentic. There's a lot of podcasts and YouTube shows and television, and they invite these people off the, their status. Not saying that you're not a big deal, but they'll for an example, I'm going to get The Rock in here because that's the only reason why I'm going to get some traction. You have a real story. We're friends, and I want to spread the news of your journey of everything. So, who the hell are you? What is your name? What do you do? Who is this guy? Tell me.
Travis Kern. Like I said, Turner and I go back to college. We've stayed friends for this long. I mean, we're getting old now. If you realize that. Yeah, don't tell anybody.
I'm gray. You're not getting gray like me, though, so that's the thing.
Better than that. Just for men. But I've been in retail my entire life, even before my professional life, and I think you can look down on retail as saying it's a blue-collar or whatever, but I guarantee you stick to something. I've really enjoyed it, and I'm surprised on how far my life has come with sticking to something that I love and I think I'm good at, not to be arrogant, but coming out of college and getting into the clothing business, which my family was in, it's in my blood, and really buckling down and saying this is something I want to do. 16 years later, I mean, I'm part of a company that we're going to go public here in the next 2 years, and I got a chunk of it.
Okay.
And for me, it started with...
where did it start? When did you actually... What's your first job, first off?
First job, Famous Footwear.
Yeah?
I think they only hired me because I was tall. I could reach the top shelves.
Oh, okay.
Shoe store, 16. Then I went to Perry Ellis Outlet Mall, 3.5 years in Allen.
This is up in northern Texas.
This is, north of Dallas, when that was pretty much all that was out there. We had a dirt road to McDonald's.
Yeah, it was... There was nothing going on there.
Now a $60 million high school football stadium.
Basically, the Cowboys could play there.
Basically, 6 state championships later. So
it's crazy.
And for me, it was high school. That was kind of my thing. I did co-op in high school. Work was always more than school for me. But I know school is a piece of paper in my mind. But it was never my thing unless you had a specialized degree.
Okay.
This is more about hard work. So. Yeah. I stuck to it. And
wait. But did you learn that from where'd you learn your work ethic? From your parents or?
So my dad, my mother, my mom hated her job. She was a corporate for 20 years just for her kids.
Okay.
And she busted her ass and was miserable and did it for us. And,
Which is the case for a lot of people.
A lot of people.
Yeah.
And she's now happy that she's been able to get all of us through college. And I just love and respect her. And then my father, he never had a college degree and had to figure this thing out. And he stuck with what he was good at. He's relationships, started working with his cousin and ended up just 35 years on the road. He's probably one of the best wholesale reps out there, which is... he represents 4 luxury lines of clothing that he sells to Stanley Korshak, for example. State territory.
Okay.
But he was, he always told me, be a student of the game. So if your game is retail, the minute you stop learning, you stop growing.
Yeah.
And I think if that mindset, whether you work at Sonic at 15 years old on roller skates, you're learning something. You're learning punctuality. You're learning how to be on time. You're learning how to deal with people.
Yeah.
Good, bad, ugly, customer service. I think the mindset has to be different for you to really take advantage of the experience that you have. And I'm another believer that everything happens for a reason. Mm-hmm. And I think you have to look at everything with a grain of salt or look at everything as an opportunity for you to grow personally. And where I've come, it ain't been an easy road, but I've seen benefits of it, and there's ups and downs.
I'm trying to get down to the question, like, did you learn this from your parents, or did you learn this through your own journey? Like, did you learn this and by watching? Are you an observer? Or?
Everyone has a different learning style.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm asking.
Tell
me, Travis.
So, for me, I gotta get my hands dirty.
Okay.
It takes me 3 or 4 times to figure something out.
Okay. So
I'm gonna mess up once. I'm gonna make a mistake again. I'm gonna figure out a better way to do it, and then I might perfect it 3rd or 4th time.
You know what? I'm the same way.
I got to do it myself.
Yeah, I'll mess up.
You know, and it's the same as a math equation. If you don't start from the beginning, you're never gonna get to the end.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's how I'm chemically made or whatever, and that's something that I have to learn, and I've learned the hard way, but I never have asked anybody in my career to do anything I haven't done myself.
Okay, yeah.
And I think that's,
leading
by example.
Now that is a perfect, that's because with the business and the empire that I am growing right now is that I started as a janitor, and I started as a construction worker because I had to build it with my own hands because I didn't have the money to pay anybody to help. So, and then I also had to be the trainer. And then I also had to be the admin. And then the tax person.
And how much more do you appreciate it?
Yeah, exactly.
Your blood and sweat and tears are in everything you've done.
But the point is that I won't ask somebody to do something unless I've done it. And I also use that same theory when I train clients. So you actually went to one of the shows in Houston, which was, I'm so sorry I made you go, because it is the most
4 hours of my life.
It's just the most boring show ever.
But if you don't appreciate,
first off, it was a physique show where you get on stage looking like an Oompa Loompa, and you're like shredded and stuff. But
your journey there,
it was
But the journey, if you don't appreciate it, then you don't understand the work that you put in.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that was. Come on, that was amazing.
Dude, I didn't know how the shows went, so I invited you thinking it was going to be cool, and it was not.
Well, you promised also we were going to go out afterwards and like one beer, and this guy was like, I got to go to bed. You're completely exhausted.
Dude, because I had no food
I know, but understanding your process and what you've gone through, like, I appreciated that so much more for that 10 seconds you were on stage.
Terrible.
Because it's like,
But the point of it is that's why I did that show, one and done, by the way. I'm never doing it again. Props to people that do it, not saying that your sport sucks. I'm just saying it's not for me, but I did it so I could train people that are in the industry. I've actually can say
I respect so much more anyone that is in that industry.
Yeah. So I won't train a client that I haven't done that. Okay. So I've also, when I was in college, I put on some fat weight from drinking probably with you most of the time. And some of our other friends. Yeah. So, when I came out of college, I had a pretty good little beer belly. And so I lost it by... Yeah.
You're healthy.
I did. I was round. I was a shape.
So, it happens.
Yeah. And so with that, I learned ways to lose weight in a fast-track way with nutrition, a certain type of exercise. So that way, I actually own a facility in Dallas that, it focuses completely on that journey that I learned in college with the books and then also with the experience. Right. So, sorry I interrupted you, but no. I completely lead everything that I do now in life. It's just like this podcast.
Yeah.
I learned, there was a spot I had questions. And there's stuff that we're going to go over, and I had these questions. That's why I'm doing what I do, because I did it in the past.
Right.
I needed to know. And I have the YouTube show, the how-to show. So I lead everything I do is because I won't do it unless I've done it. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, and it's the same thing for me. And I think it's really important also in your life to find a mentor or find someone that motivates you or pushes you. And, my job in college, I worked at a specialty store, menswear. The owner of the shop was 82 years old at this point.
Was he?
He got $20,000 loan from his father when he was 20 years old and opened up this business that's been 60 plus years in Lubbock, Texas.
Is it still going well?
Yeah.
I remember I went out there, took a couple of the shows for you, and went to the store.
Well, we were in our prime time then. He's since passed, but there is opportunities with that business, and the family's now kind of getting back together. Long story,
but you're still open.
Still open.
That's
still open. Still going 60+ years. But
Okay.
you know, I was a part-time student in college, and this guy was like riding my ass every day, and I'm like, I don't need this. Like, I'm in school, like, you know. And he saw me getting frustrated, and this is Mr. Maloof, and he's pulled me aside one day. He said, Travis, the only reason I'm so hard on you is I think you can be better than me one day. And once he said that, my mindset completely shifted.
You actually remember the actual moment.
I remember the moment because he, you know, every sale he was like, hey, you know, in the fitting rooms, he would, you know, does he have ankle socks or does he wear undershirts or everything was a attention to detail for me to see.
You use that shit now, don't you?
I still do.
Yeah.
And I still, you know, we used to draw diagrams on selling techniques, and I hear myself and see myself doing this to my employees. And when he told me that, my mindset changed. I was a sponge. Everything he said was a lesson. And the attention to detail that he taught me, which nowadays everything with technology moves so quickly, I think people forget everything has a step, 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, and you have to really see what you're doing. Read body language, read people, listen, ask more questions than you talk. And I've taken that through my career, and the investment in growing a business, and you can probably relate to this, is the people.
Yeah.
And for me, I am nothing without my team, without my people, and the most amount of my time in my role. I'm a regional manager now for a menswear company called Suit Supply. We've grown from 1 store in 2011 to the United States in 44. I've opened more than 50% of them, so 18 stores.
By the way, I dress better because of this man. There was a time where. Yeah. I was the guy that wore either gym shorts or board shorts every single day, and now I actually wear a little bit more fashionable clothes.
No,
because of you.
You look well in the clothes. You do really.
Thanks,
but
man.
You know, for me, it's the
well.
You look healthy. The people investment for me is everything, and I think that you can't look away from who you have in your corner. And, you know, 80% of my time is text, phone call, email.
Relationships. Yeah.
And honestly, that's also how my career, has gone. You know, I can know everything in a book, right? But unless I have someone that can support me or make the phone call to say, hey, man, I need some help on this or whatever, like, I have those people in my life that not only professionally but personally. This right here, there's synergy that we've had. You motivate me, you push me.
Yeah, you know what? It just hit me. Even though we're friends, and you did it because we're friends, you helped me out to make me not look like a fucking bum. You know, but you kind of still no. But like the relationship that you did with me in the store took me to refer more clients and more guests to come into your store and stuff like that. So,
well, it was
the point of it is that. You did that with not just me. You used the same service with me, with everyone else that came in the door.
Yes.
So I see that now.
Well, anyone that walks through your gym, you put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah.
Same to anyone that walks into my store. Any employee that works for me. Everyone's built differently. Everyone has a different history. Everyone comes from a different place. So in order to motivate, I've got to be able to really walk in their shoes and see what's going to get them to the next level. Because if they get to the next level, I get to the next level. Yeah. And it's the same with our customers. You know, if they walk in, they're about to propose to their girlfriend. If she says yes, and he looks like dynamite and feels good about himself, I win.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's as simple as it is. It's a feeling. It's an emotional connection. Any business that we're in, I think people forget about that. It's as that small as the emotional and intelligence in any situation and how to read that. And I think that that's something I learned early. And that's something that I continue to try and push myself on is, you know, what feeds people, what motivates people, what drives people, even myself. And we've all been in a slump.
Yeah.
And what gets you out of it? I talk to you on the phone for 30 seconds, and I'm like, get your lazy ass out of bed and get to the gym.
Yeah.
You know, and it's that simple, but it's people in your life that are going to build you up, and I think you're one of them. And I hope I can be for the people that work for me and the people that I surround myself with. And I think that's something you have to recognize, too. If you're not around those people that motivate you, what are you doing?
Yeah. So that was all good messages, but let's get back on track.
Sorry.
That was good.
I'm on tangents.
That's what we do. Actually, that's every conversation we have.
Yeah.
We just kind of go, I don't know what direction. There's no map.
It's kind of our ADHD probably kicking in.
Every day.
Yeah, every day.
All right, so let's get on track to, staying on a consistent track to getting to an end goal.
Yes.
Now, you started a long journey of, high school,
college,
and then to your professional life after college. Still in the same industry. Still doing the same thing.
Correct.
The same stuff.
Yeah. At a higher level. I mean,
obviously.
Yeah.
You progress.
Yeah,
I would hate that you would still be at the shoe store, looking at the top shelf stuff.
But even at the higher you go, you can't forget about the small things.
Yeah.
Because if you forget, then you take a step back, and it's any business. It's 2 steps forwards, 1 step back.
Yeah. Before you get off track again.
Sorry.
Okay. I want to know. I want to know why you stayed on the track to where you are today. What's your reasoning behind it, and how did you stay with it? Because I know there's been times where the guy why is he riding my ass?
Yeah.
Like, why did you stay on track, and what are your goals?
For me, staying on track, I think what makes me feel good, what makes me feel like I've made an impact. And, in this business, every day I get to meet people that I can influence their life in some small degree. And that is so rewarding to get up every day and make a contact with somebody and help them. And that sounds maybe trivial or not, but I feel like I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah.
And it was so rewarding to say, hey, and I'll tell a quick story. This isn't off track.
Yeah, we're going to stay on track this time?
We're going to stay on track. One of my customers, and you got to think, when I was in college, I didn't have a client book, anything. So I had to get all the college students that bought Lacoste polos for $79, right?
Yeah.
So starting with this company, this guy came in, sold him a couple Lacoste polos. Well, came time for him to graduate, and he wanted his first suit for his last formal fraternity party. So came in, got him his first suit, and he was just nothing but cloud 9 when he walked out of that store.
Uh-huh.
And we made a relationship over the 3 years. So, it was a big formal party. He was taking this girl. So I wrote him a handwritten note. I said, hey, I really appreciate working with you. And, have fun tonight. Be safe. And I slipped a condom in the envelope and slipped it in the
nice.
pocket without him knowing. So later he texts me. It's like midnight. He's like, dude, you rock. Like, those little things, he will always remember me. And he hit me up on LinkedIn I think it was 6 months ago. He's like, what have you been up to? And
no way. That's cool.
This is 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And I still think about these things because I made an impact. So that is what keeps me going.
Yeah.
And I enjoy this. I enjoy the clothing business. I enjoy looking good. I enjoy making people feel good about themselves. And I've stuck to it. And, there was times I was like, I want to get out. I want to do something else. But you need to stick to what you're good at.
Yeah.
And I really think that people try and... Nowadays, I see it more. There's so much happening. There's, talking about YouTube and stuff like that. People get Insta-famous on whatever. And what's really important? And if I'm in the background or if I can help, this guy, Zach, move to Vegas and then move to New York and be a key holder and now be a store manager, or Morgan moved to New York. These
so
people...
you stayed in it because it was self-rewarding for you to help people.
Correct. And I love being a part of someone else's journey.
Okay.
I even might want to be a teacher one day.
Yeah.
I mean, I've thought about this.
Really? What type of teacher?
There's so many things. I used to speak my mom was a high school teacher. I used to speak in her class as a guest speaker. These kids don't know how to simply shake a hand, Turner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And look in your eyes.
So
presenting, you have one chance.
I think it's because of technology today.
It is, but you also have one chance to make a first impression.
Yeah.
Right? Saving money. Mm-hmm. Who teaches you these things? If your parents don't, where are you getting it from? So if you can be a coach or a motivator or someone that, let's talk about leadership.
Yeah. Leading by example?
Leading by example. It's that simple. And it goes back to not asking anybody to do anything that I haven't done myself. And if my game is retail and I want to be a student of that game, I want to perfect it. And I will never be perfect. And I think that that's also something in myself. I can always do better. I can always do better. I can always do better. And it's what motivates me.
Mm-hmm. So
it's that simple.
Yeah. So I now that I have been building the gym, the online business for Build and Shred Academy, the gym here in Dallas is called Dallas Fit Body Bootcamp, and I had a goal, and my goal was to impact people, to help people just like you. Your goal, okay? I'm only putting this in because I can relate to you, and the conversation is going to go off the map as soon as I end my sentence here because I know how we work.
Yeah.
But the point is that I built the gym because I wanted to help people, but I could only help those people 1 hour at a time with one person at a time. Then I thought there was a different way I could do it. I could do small group training. I could help at least 5 people for 1 hour at a time. Okay? And then I got my own facility. I got homeless because of it. And this for those of you, full transparency that are watching, this room right here was my bedroom at one point when I had this place. When I first got it. I slept on a little sleeping bag right here.
It's not that comfortable.
It's not. But the point of it is that I built it so I could train 40 people for 30 minutes at a time. Right. And I could do it every 30 minutes. And then I could start hiring trainers. So when they were in here, they were training 40 people. But when they left, they would impact people because of me, because I've given them training certifications that are nationally known.
So you invested in those people to then spread what you enjoy doing.
Just why the podcast is here is because to spread more positivity in the world that we live in, such a negative one.
Yes.
And to help people take that forward step in bettering themselves. That is the whole tagline of this podcast. And it's the same way I live my life. And it's the same way I started my online business. I can only impact these people that live in Dallas at a 7-mile radius because nobody's going to drive more than 7 miles to go work out, first off. Not for me to beat your ass, okay? So there's ways for me with an app that I just launched yesterday for Build and Shred Academy. Thank you. That I can impact people over the whole world.
Is it in the Apple store?
Yeah, it's an iOS store now. So it's super, super exciting to be able to do that. And I do it because when I was a kid, the whole reason all of this has happened is because there's one wholehearted flagstone of why it happened is because I had a severe hearing loss when I was born, and I had no friends. I got beat up all the time because I was different. I had hearing aids, and nobody could communicate with me, and I wanted nobody to ever feel like I did. Right. Or experience it. So I get self-gratification when I do those things and I help people. I see smiles on them even though I beat their ass, but I build them up. And then the same thing. So it's the same thing with you. You're a key holder and you can move from here and experience from New York to Chicago. Yeah, it's freaking cool.
Grow a business. Be part of a business. Be part of something.
Yeah, so I completely agree of like it's self-rewarding to help somebody else receive a reward. And then another thing is that this will top on top, and I'm going to hand it over to you. This right here is that one of the biggest things is the positivity in life needs to spread more because like when Grant Cardone 3 weeks ago bought a $40 million plane, the top of the private industry, it cost, I think it was like $200 million. It was $200 million plane. It cost $2 million a year just to run it, and it has 50,000-gallon tank, but it's $60 a gallon. Okay, to fill it up. Yeah. Okay, I wanted to run through a fucking brick wall when I heard that. I was like, "That's fucking awesome!" Yeah. And it's so cool to see him receive positivity from all the work because he's also helped a lot of people too. Right. And so I can completely, wholeheartedly, I know you can hear it in my voice how much passion that I love when people receive a reward for something that they've done or you've helped them do.
And I think you can look at, it's as simple as identifying somebody's opportunities, and if you can help them and influence them anyway to get to their goal, but you gotta know what their goals are. Yeah. And for me, it's been the most rewarding feeling to say, hey, 18 stores later, we got 44 in the U.S., and we're opening 6 more this year. And if we take this company public and everyone that's been a part of it, last year I moved 25 people in 2017 for opportunities. Mm-hmm. I've had one guy that has moved 5 times for me in 5 years, and he is finally in the position he has worked his ass off for me, trusting me. And he had to move to the Woodlands, of all people, as a young guy. It's not the place that's you're going to meet your future wife if you're young and want to go. Little things like that. Yeah. But he has done it, and he's been with me this whole ride, and I'm more proud of him and him trusting me to get to this journey. Yeah. it's little things like that. And I speak more of an example, which is why I get off on tangents. But
I love your tangents, though.
It excites me in the same way it does you.
Yeah.
And if I can touch, I've got over 100 people that work for me now. Probably into this year, maybe 150. Mm-hmm. And if I can influence each and every one of them, I win.
Okay. So the end goal for you. You went from all the way from high school to get where you are.
High school, college, where I am now. I'm growing a business. We're probably going to go public here in the next couple of years, which is phenomenal. If we do this, I would love to get my reward.
Yeah, of course.
Which is obviously the...
do you know your outcome? I don't want to spill the beans here. Do you know what you want?
The outcome for me would be I want to cash out.
Okay.
From the hard work I put in. It's been 7 years almost. And whether it's consulting, whether it's teaching, and again.
And if you don't cash out, though, just, being conservative, but maybe having more shares?
But not, more shares, but at the same time, when do I get to do what I want to do?
Mm-hmm. So what do you want to do?
I want to teach.
You want to teach?
You wanted to spread your word, right?
Yeah.
And you couldn't do that without building a team, hiring trainers, online.
To spread more positivity.
Whether it's I go back to school, I get my master's, I teach in a collegiate level, or I go into consulting.
Yeah.
Retail right now is not a business that people are really getting into because of the way the business is. A lot of stores are closing, big box, JCPenney, Sears.
I could see you consulting.
And I would love
sure. Because at the same time you're teaching.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think you would. This is just my opinion.
I don't know how to answer.
I know you probably don't, but I think this is just me seeing on the outside looking in. I don't know. There's a lot more underlining goes on in your business, but I think that you would be an amazing consultant for retail business or any type of business that's in this type of form of business that has a B2B or customer. B2C.
And I agree. It's something that I get motivated about, looking into a business and seeing how you can quickly identify and make an impact in your business by whether staffing or hiring or training or whatever it is. But the people is the key component.
Yeah.
And that's been in your business too.
Yeah, because it's a relationship.
Correct.
People buy into people, not to products first. They buy into the person first.
It's who you know. It's really not what you know.
Yeah.
And school was never really my thing other than a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Because I needed it, but it's been...
So you want to be an educator for those that are going through the journey.
Correct.
That the
just
young Travis.
I hope I've been for the people that I've employed or worked for.
Hey, that's what I did. I'm a teacher now.
Yes, you are.
I was
scary.
Practitioner at one point. It's very scary, huh?
Very scary.
Fuck you, man.
People listen to us. I don't know why.
I was a practitioner. I was a trainer. I worked out with the client all the time. I even we lifted weights with them.
Yes.
And then now I'm teaching and educating the trainers, the clients. Tomorrow I'm doing a nutritional seminar here in Dallas for free for anybody to come. So I'm a teacher.
And your personal training starting Monday.
Yeah, for the first time in 5 years, I'm just doing this to kind of...
I got to sign up. He's got to kick my ass. I have to.
You know what's the weird thing is that you pay for me to whoop your ass.
I don't know why.
And people do it, man. It's
at least
great.
People pay to buy a suit to look good for me. They get a reward out of it. I just cry.
Shut up. So, I like the fact that you want to... I see that in a lot of people that have gone through, drug through the rocks, moved through some ruts, and they learn a lot, and then they want to educate.
Yes.
Spread...
Share your experience.
Yeah.
But, do you have an audience that wants to listen? And I hope that, from our experiences that you and I have had, that there is positive impact that we can relate to other people in these stories.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah, I mean, my positive impacts in the past, 4 years, it's that I don't look like a bum on the street anymore.
No, you look like an educated, fit bum.
I don't know about educated, but...
We did go to Texas Tech.
Yeah, Wreckham Tech. Yeah, that's right. We both went to Tech.
Yeah.
We're both Raiders.
Yeah.
The city was not fun, but the school was great. I loved it there, and I'm glad we got to meet there and stuff.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
And here we are.
Yeah, here we are in my man cave of a old bum apartment.
Hey, you know what? We all started somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks for coming on today. I'm gonna end this podcast on a note is that we started in a journey where his story, my story. I wanted to bring on somebody that's personal, near and dear to me. That we talk about personal things. We're good friends, and I wanted to share his podcast, his story, even though I had to drag his ass in here because he's busy all the time. I had to ask him a million times, but I got him in here, shared a story. But the point is that there is a journey to everyone. Everybody has their own unique journey, and there's a reason why you stick to it. Okay, I want you to find your why, and think about your end story, and never get off track. Now, I will end on this note right here. There is a brilliant man out there that is my coach, and he taught me one thing. There is an A to B track, okay? The fastest way to get from A to B is to go straight, okay? Now, here's what happens when you get in an idea ferry. You go up and down, off track, and then you get back on track, and you start going, then, I'm going to do this and do that. And instead of going, what you're doing, what are you doing right now? Is it fast tracking you to the end goal, or is it getting you off track before you're going to get to your end goal? So stay on track. Ask yourself every single day, what you're doing. Are you going, like you said, you started working out more and you're eating healthy.
Yeah.
Now because you want to work on yourself to better yourself in life, okay? So what you're doing today is going to help you get to your end goal quicker.
Correct.
Versus maybe going out later, staying up later, you're not getting enough sleep. You didn't have a sleep schedule.
No, I mean,
you have a sleep schedule that's going to get you to your end game quicker because you're going to be more focused, you're going to be sharp, you're going to have freaking, you're not going to always have bags under your eyes all the time.
Well, little heredity, yes.
Anyways, guys, I really do appreciate you lending me your ear and watching us on YouTube. Give us some likes, some shares. Thank you so much for coming on today. I appreciate it, dude.
Thank you. And my only thing is, be a student of your game. If you know what it is, that track that Turner talked about, A to B, stay on it.
Yeah.
But always learn. And listen, I think, more than you talk, because there's so much more you can learn from people out there and their experiences, and I hope ours as well. So
yeah. And remember,
I appreciate it.
JAMODI. It's just a matter of doing it.
JAMODI.
Take care.
Bye.